You can't outrun what you've done. What you truly are.
And neither can you.
When I walked in, Amor, my footsteps smacking the ground. Surprised that I was talking to him when he turned around and said, "Is it true?" When I said, "Is it true that you just killed Zafres?" When he gave me a look, "I killed him for you, and it's true you've been praying. And now we're both in trouble." Because Zafres was one of Satan's #1 informants right now. And at that very moment, he was looking for him. And now we are the two, standing over him. The one whose head Satan put a no-touch zone over. When instantly we heard a female say, "Zafres is this way." "Wife, we have no time for one of your fights. Do exactly as I do." When I looked up and said, "Agreed." As we both looked at the door with such a fearful urgency, when the doorknob twists and our morals whispered, "Wife, do exactly as I do." But to his surprise, he was shocked because something unexpected to the both of us just happened. And right before me, a portal opened. Huh? I can't jump? Knocking me back. For a second, my chains dropped. Not knowing at all what was happening, my body began to disappear. No, wait. I pleaded. Still, it knocked me back. No, stop! Impossible. A bound queen cannot jump? How? Nervous. And then he took off and jumped, vanishing as well. Now let me rewind back a bit to something that I forgot to tell you. Now this is how I became Queen of Zeta. This was in 2005 when I was 8 years old. Years before I had even met Satan, Ryx, King Zhao, our morals, or Thankyou. Now this is how it happened. When one day they said, "Come, little one. It is time for you to become Queen of Zeta." What's Zeta? You'll see. And the Zeta tribe, a group of half-demon, half-human people, worshippers of the blue Gregory of fallen angels, feral in their ways, known for painting their entire bodies in black paint for their kills that they make, and while covered within the black paint, hid within the very shadows of darkness. When the leader walked up and said, "Tahamekota metari halashe daru," meaning, "What is it that you are here for?" "Da mekshibe," this is the one. "Daruma," she is the one. "Bako," yes. "Itano," very well then. And took me with them. And it began when this happened. What is going on? It is the new queen. You know what that means. As she walked up to me, staring, sighing with a distasteful expression. When the queen leader pulled out a sword. "And now by you being the next in line, you must take my place and perform the ritual." And I did. Accomplished. And next, I was then made to commit the test of leaping over the fire. If it consumed me, I die. And I'm not the next queen, which I succeeded. And after that, I was then wedded to the next half-demon, half-human, male king of the tribe of Zeta. A boy who also looked to be of the same age as me, Tatuani, and he was my first marriage in the spiritual realm. Meanwhile, the ritual wasn't over and was still going on. Now there was a substance that I had to drink and ingest to yoke me to the Zeta tribe and the new king. An unbreakable loyalty pact. As one of the witches went on, "Do you swear to keep your oath to the tribe of Zeta? That's the next queen." When with my young voice I murmured, "I do." And my face was covered. And for a second I felt smothered. When the ritual was completed, as I praised the Grigori,
With blood and dear hit blood. Freyr sonor nasta. Met blotten, blotsen, fight to a sight to hjartar. Met a red ray filter modern queen herre til å vekster hjartar. Tíminn er nú. Tíminn er nú.
As they all yelled, and it was custom that the same one who was the ruler and put the crown on me had to die by my very hand. And now at that very age, I had just killed the ex-queen, and now as custom, taking the crown off of her head that was on her, where I then placed it on mine instead. She died willingly as I stood over her body, and now I am the official new queen of Zeta at the age of 8, which was technically already ordained for me years before, at the age of 6, when I first made the deal and put the crown on my head as Watnanda. But part of the deal was at Zeta, when I yelled, "May Zeta live forever!" When they all yelled, "All hail the queen! All hail the queen! All hail the queen! All hail the queen! All hail the queen!" As I yelled, "Atukua!" meaning, hail that Zeta. Meanwhile, now do you remember these two? The two Darkins? Brother and sister. A darkened pair of twins. A boy and a girl. From school? From when this happened. Friend A, you stay here on the couch. I did. He was very worried. Meanwhile, this is what was happening in the bathroom. As my best friend A then listened with no clue as her curiosity grew, I wondered what's going on. Later on, "It is time for you to go to school and learn about your powers." And that next day, some people came and got me, and I was brought with my first invitation to school. Now each kind in this school hangs out with their own, I began to notice, when our half-reptilian teacher then said, "Welcome to school," as we immediately began our work and getting into our studies. "Your homework today is to tell me what I'm thinking." The reason why that was such a challenge is just because it's very hard to get into the mind of a reptilian. And if you do, it's hard to come back out sane. And after school, we had sports where you use your powers to win. Everyone picked their teammate. And one day, there was an incident in the school. There was a girl who was a Darkin, and she bullied everyone. No one was safe, and she just killed a boy. Well, not quite. Now she had her clique full of Darkins, and I had my own clique full of abnorms. And one day, there was an incident where she swept a boy into the palm of her hand, torturing him for however long she deemed so. This girl was a Darkin, and she had a twin brother who was as well. They had the power to sweep you up into a doorway in the palm of their hand, where you'll be tortured forever. When one day, I was walking with my clique, and she was walking with her, when she bumped into me and kept going, and I said something. When she said, "Do you know who I am?" And I said, "I don't care what you are. Do what you want." And she said, "And I will show you," and began opening her palm. And her brother then came running from the other side of the school, using the doorway in his palms as a portal to get to her faster. Because when she first got there, she also did the same to one of the teachers, after giving her a grade she did not like. Not even the teachers would intervene, because they were afraid of a Darkin as well. When I then said, "And what are you gonna do?" When she then said, "Now show you," and opened her palms, when right in the middle of it, her brother then arrived and snatched her. "Do you know who this is? Do you want both of us to be killed and tortured ourselves?" And took her away. When the others then said, "Wow, who are you to make a Darkin run like that?" When I then said, "I'm Sinoriel," and they said, "Well, welcome to your first day of school, Sinoriel." And that was how my first day of school went. Meanwhile, this happened. Is it true that you've been called to the throne? I have. And now what? we go. As she made her way, walking, opening a portal using the keyholes within her own hands, sliding her weapon across the ground, when her brother yelled, "Sister, never listen, you shouldn't go." But she looked back and laughed and went anyway, quickly appearing, making her way there. Her footsteps slushed through the ground, and her and her brother then came face to face with who they were called by when he said, well, if it isn't the twins, I've been looking for you." When they came over to him and kneeled down, and immediately our moral said, "Let me show you something." And it was like a screen flashed before her, showing her everything she did at the school to me. All the time she tried to kill me in our constant fights. Now pulled back out of her memories when she then whispered, "Signoria." Now knowing why they're there. And now she looked very afraid when he said, "You think I don't know what you did?" As the twins trembled in fear, grabbing the hands of one another for comfort. When the twin girl tried to run, and seeing our morals coming after her brother then fueled his power, getting ready to fight as she tried to jump. But by then it was too late. He had already caught her. And just that quick, our moral snatched her, walking her across the ground like a dog, opening a portal as she struggled and towering her through a portal hole to his torture chamber. And all her brother could do is scream, "No!" But our morals could care less. Finally got them back. Dog. Yes, walk. Dog. Which brings me to the Darkins. Let me tell you how I became in control of them as their queen. Now this is when I was of the age of about 12 years old. And at this time I had been planning a strategic war against a faraway enemy. When one day I got a visitor at my doorstep, right to my throne's door. When who was it, I wondered, and why are they here? When I looked closer, it was the Darkin Queen. I know why she's here. She had been having war and needs someone to unite with her. When she came up to me and said, "I've tried everything, but no one will unite with me. No one wants to fight the enemy that we are having war against. I've tried my all. I need you to unite at Zeta with us. Help us, or else we will all be destroyed, disembodied, and separated. And the Darkins will be no more. Name it, and you shall have it." When I said, "Do you really love and care about your people?" "Of course I do. I'd give anything for them." When I walked closer, "Anything?" As she nodded her head, "Yes." As I walked closer, "You're sure you will give anything?" "I will give anything for my people so we will survive this war." As I stepped closer to my throne, and I grinned and said, "Very well. I will unite your people with that Zeta. Thank you. I will forever be indebted to you." As she began to walk away when I said, "But I have an ultimatum. And since you said you would be willing to do anything for your people, here is my deal. I will unite your people, the Darkins, with my people, the Atzadian tribe, and the Watnandians. I will take care of them, protect them, and make sure nothing happens to them, so that your kind stays alive. But in return, I want your crown." She didn't expect that, as she staggered and stood for the longest time, hesitantly, thinking about it, breathing hard as she looked up at me. But of course, because she cared about her kingdom and her people, she gave it up. "Do this for the sake of your kingdom, and I will unite your kingdom with my two, and they will be untouchable and safe." Take it. It worked. I now have the Darkin crown. As she handed it over and walked away. But what she didn't see was my mischievous smile. Because what she didn't know was that war that led her to come to me for help in the first place was all strategically planned by me, where I made sure that there was no one that would dare politically risk such a thing to help her, and that I would be the only option so that I could have her crown. and become queen over the darkness. Because politically, they are strong, and I wanted them. Another thing she didn't know, every day I had a very special visit. I had one of her own, my future queen, betraying and feeding me information the entire time. As I had then put on the crown, and the army that she had just led to my throne's gateway doorstep that would usually follow her, as they all looked confused, wondering why their queen was leaving them. And now the army that once moved and came in with her, that just like water only moved when she moved, has now stood still, standing there, waiting for their next orders from me. It worked. Checkmate. And now I am queen of the Darkings as well. Then so be it. If this has to happen, then I will destroy everyone who was involved and did not help me. When he said, you would even destroy your mom? When I paused, never her. But I would destroy the other person that was there with her, that she left me for. And because I can't touch God, I will destroy my sister instead. When the other demons then gathered around and said, the one you have been protecting all this time, that has been listed under your protection as your human? Yeah, you mean that one? The one you wouldn't even allow the enemy demons to touch and harm? Matutra, Zyra, Maisha, Tyruma, killed Matuk's kingdom, destroyed, even the order wanted her, killed. And what protection have I been given for it? So are you saying that we can harm her now, my queen? When I turned around and said, no, she's mine. I will go back in time and grab her again, bring her down here, that I may torture her and teach her a lesson in what true pain and loneliness feels like. When Armoro said, and if you go to her in that time frame, her not knowing this version of you, she might not understand and will not risk even speaking with you. When I said, then I will go to someone who will. And who is that? Myself. Let's go. Making my way to the time frame of 2013, where I am 16 and she is 17, where we were just evicted from our home. This never having a permanent place to call home became normal for us. And because of that, and having nowhere to go, we then had to move in with our great-grandma. And she would yell at us day and night the entire time we were there. And this behavior drove my mom crazy. But she had her good days when she wasn't busy doing this. We then got to have a lot of smiles. But anyway, now that y'all caught up with the past, let me show you what happened. I've made it. 2013. Granny's house, laughing gleefully, because by the constant angry atmosphere, the door was open to me. How kind of them. The carpet soaked underneath my footsteps. Self. And all that time at night, I would stay with her, teaching her nothing but lies, even falling asleep with her, which she didn't know, but because we were linked, I could generate more power from her, making her weaker. But who cares? She wasn't me. I am the new me now. She hadn't even met Riots yet, and she knew nothing about Time Remnant. And by illegally tampering with my own time, I've accidentally created many of us. But I'll use them to my own advantage. As I made my way through the house, and no one saw me, except for myself. Looking at me, she jumped, and I mocked, little seer. But she had no memory of me ever saying that to her before, when I first erased her memories. And And I don't know why, but I will always forget younger me had those abilities, even before dark power was given to us. Because it was then given to us first, in heaven, with God. And after having our parents picked out, we were then implanted into their womb as a gift. It's a gift because it was His, and not just any gift, but His most precious and unblemished. He gave you His best and greatest of His humans in the kingdom, which, believe it or not, is a child and baby, which is why they are worth more in the dark realm than anything else. Where He repeatedly refers and states in the Bible that a child after being born is without defect or blemish, which was a sacrifice, where He gave up something that He loved, His most perfect other than His Son, as a gift for you. Just like Genesis 4:4, where Abel came and brought one of his lambs to God as a sacrifice and gift, where he brought his firstborn of the flock, a baby, which was deemed innocent and pure and without spot, defect, or blemish. Just as the Bible verse states, I knew you before you were even born. Before I was born and the demons that got to me due to the witchcraft that my mom had participated in, before that, God had already got to me. Now let's get back to where we were. Well, no need to lollygag. Let me just skip all of this and get to the point. I finally got her. And because she thinks I was actually me, against her better judgment, she followed me. When I tried luring her down to the dark realm, come, follow me. Nothing will happen to you. She was following me too. But then she stopped. As she began to glow, and someone whispered to her, don't go. When she said, I shouldn't go. Turn around now. I should turn around right now. When I growled in anger and realized that someone was speaking to her. When I yelled, who dares speak to her? A light began to radiate around her and I just knew it was going to take her. And before she left, I saw who it was. And with hatred, I said, you, as I angrily sneered. It was Jesus. And the demons yelled, 2 seconds down, as I ran and tried to grab her. When she took off and vanished. And by an inch, I missed her, falling down to my knees. When I then got thrown back, while hearing the chains that should have been wrapped around my wrist again. It is over. Disappointed when I then stood up and said, she will not get away. Her spirit went into a protected place, and I followed where that place was, going into where I shouldn't have been. And to my surprise, I was ambushed because angels stood all around, watching me, and they were holy ones too. Oh crap. As I then tried to shapeshift and run, as I then tried to fight, but I can't fight against them. And they quickly binded me up, and I flirted with one of the angels named Uriel, as I stretched my hand out and touched his hand and said, you're cute. When he said, as if he was both protecting himself and defending, striking a holy fury, a lion roared, jumping out of his face. As they all gasped, and he stepped back and said, I am being tempted. Get Michael. As some ran to find him and the other communicated telepathically. Michael, what would he do? When the biggest, most intimidating angel in began walking my way. And before he even made it to me, I could feel his footsteps. Each echo was like a punishment to my soul that I knew was coming. And I was afraid. And all the demons within me temporarily left me. And even any of the power that I had from the fallen angels vanished in that moment. And I must have passed out or something, because after that, I don't remember a thing. And all of this happened in the time frame of when I vanished. Your Earth days was but a few seconds to me. And I had to use my few seconds wisely, expecting to appear back in the dark realm with chains wrapped around my wrist. I then fell into my bed of my current timeline, confused when I said, huh? How am I here? A bound queen cannot jump? This is impossible, because I had just vanished and disappeared as a bound queen. That is not so. It's not the witching hour. How am I here? It's only 2 p.m. What is this? When I then said, strange. When I then put my sleeping mask back over my eyes again, because by wearing a sleeping mask with darkness over my eyes, it helped me descend into the dark realm even faster. And just before I got ready to jump, something very unexpected happened. I think I have a visitor. As whoever it was had just walked into the room, into my atmosphere as if it was nothing for them to get past my barriers. And I could not see. Who is it? When worried, thinking it was Satan, I asked, "Who are you?" To be continued.